Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Wednesday, October the 3rd, 2018. My name is Doug McCann, the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure market, and then drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We do create multiple trade plans. We do not know what the market's going to do. Therefore, we have plans in place depending on who takes control. We wait for the market to open up, see who's in control, and then execute the plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the trading day. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody here at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. So taking a look at yesterday. Yesterday, we were looking for a rotational day. That's basically what we got. Hypo 5 is what played out the inside day. We created some pretty decent distribution around 28.50. We put in a very weak high with a triple top at 36. This move here was actually unexpected. It was a neutral day that followed a neutral day. And now in the Globex, we have a break above the 36, and we are trading currently right now up at 29.39.40 with the high just put in at 29.40. Overnight inventory is about, I would say, 90%, 87% thereabouts net long. We did come up into this prior naked VPOC at the 39 area. We are currently right now above this triple top at 36. And we are within pretty close of the daily ATR of being able to make new all-time highs. And this is likely, sorry, my IRT is acting up on me still. This is likely to see a breakout of this balance area, this wide balance area that we've been in for the last week and 3 days. So taking a look at the news today, we have a fair amount of Fed speakers today. We did have ADP non-farm employment change, came out better than anticipated. That was the spike to 29.40. Not a really big move off of this. I don't know if Barkin's still speaking, but we did have a Fed speaker this morning. 55 minutes from now, we've got market composite PMI and services PMI, and then 10 o'clock will be the big one, and that will be the ISM non-manufacturing PMI and all its associates, and then we've got crude oil inventories and all its associates. 2 o'clock, we've got Brainerd speaking from the Fed. 2:15, we've got Mester, and then we've got 4 o'clock, we've got Powell speaking again, and they're just lining them up. So fair amount of news out overnight with Italy, with their budget and pressure from the EU. This is what caused this spike up right here, and then we basically accepted value higher again in around the 34, held the VWAP, and now we're going and making new overnight highs. So we don't know if 40 is going to be the overnight high as we're trading right there. Each morning I start my morning with the same routine. I use a simple candlestick chart. I start on a monthly, and I use a 9 EMA and a 20 SMA. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for slope and separation. For the strength of the trend, is price paralleling the 9 nicely, or are we coming down and challenging the 9 in the trend, or are we breaking the 9 in the 20 and violating the trend with a possible trend change? On the monthly, very strong trend, nothing to show that this trend is being challenged. We had 14 months of one-time framing in February. They challenged it for 4 months and they were unable. And this now continuation pattern, we don't even challenge the trend until we get into the low 2800s. So about 150 points down. And then going to the weekly, well, 130 points, sorry. Same thing, just a very, very strong trend, good slope, good separation, price paralleling the 9. We don't challenge the weekly trend until we get back into the 28.95 near that microcomposite VPOC at 28.94 area. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then on the daily, we were getting this consolidation, and now we're getting some slope and separation and coming up to test the unequalized all-time high. The Globex at 47, the RTH at 46.50 is likely to get broken this week if we can hold above this 32 level. Going to the intraday, the 4-hour, we had some consolidation and we challenged the 20, then we broke back above the 9 and the 20, and we're getting slope and separation. We don't even challenge the trend again until we get back inside yesterday's range and I move back down into the 33.50 area. Going to the 30-minute, all the same thing. This is all showing trend on every time frame, okay, to the upside, and I think this is the day we'll likely see a break to the new all-time highs. Likely, maybe, don't know. Just to make that perfectly clear, a move back to the range high of 36 would challenge the trend. So I've got 36, and I'm using 36 as my over underline due to the triple top and whether or not we get back inside of yesterday's range. Sorry, this should be flipped over. This should be moved up. And this trade area should come down to the 32 area. Okay, so taking a look at the structure. We had this balance, down here with the microcomposite VPOC down at that 28.94 area. We accepted value higher with the 5-day microcomposite at 29.12. We gap up. We put in new all-time highs, still unequalized by a couple ticks. Then we fall back out of where we were trying to hold that value at 36, and then we come down and we come right back to the last spot that we accepted value before the breakout. And then we chop around in there, accept value higher at the microcomposite VPOC at 29.19. And now we gap up on Sunday and we are creating balance above at 28.75. And we've accepted that value. And now we're going to get a possible another gap up, and we talked about the 36 being the key line in the sand above. It's now going to become our over underline, and 42 is going to become our key line in the sand above, and 42 is that Monday high. If we can get above that, then I'm anticipating that we are going to get a break into new all-time highs. Key levels to pay attention to, very simple, 36, 32, 28, 75, and if we break below the 26 area, we could see a move back down into the naked close, the gap, and the prior microcomposite VPOC down at the 2050 and the 19 area. And we'll see that more clearly on this chart. But first, let's just take a look at the inventory. Like I said, the inventory is about 90% to 85% net long. So we are looking for a possible balancing and a move back to the 36. But just keep in mind that we are likely going to gap up. We still have time. We can come back to that 36. More importantly, I want to point out something that is important, especially when they start making these moves in the Globex. We had OTF participation. You can see the black bars down here. That's the 20 period normal volume, and then you can see all the spikes above. That's OTF participation. We want to see whether or not, now you can see that the OTF on that last spike up on the news, you know, to that 40 area was based on news, but volume has dropped off a bit here. So we want to see if we get OTF. Important to watch the market on open and see if the OTF stay involved to see if we get any type of initiative, you know, movement. And you do not want to fade that initiative move if it's got volume behind it, OTF, because you might not get a counter rotation based on gap rules. So in terms of level, you know, it's only 2 ticks away, but I have to put something in right now. This will likely have to be adjusted, but our overnight high is 40. Our overnight low is pretty set at 25.75. Our overnight VPOC might shift, but we did put a lot of volume off at that 34.75. And our daily ATR right now is running at 20.36, so off of the overnight high of 25.79. Our daily upside ATR target is up at, it's actually 46.11, so we're going to use 46.25. And you know, we have this confluence right here of the unequalized Globex high at 47, the RTH all-time high at 46.50, and our daily upside ATR. We still have this cup and handle extended measured move at 40, and you know, we have nothing above except for some Fibonacci measured moves. I'm not going to go into them right now because you know, they're just measurements. So we just have to wait to see how the auction progresses once we get into new territory. If I take the 40 as the overnight high, our downside ATR daily target is down at 1975. So right down here in the oh, this is not needed anymore. This is still key line, and then our daily ATR. Where is our daily ATR? That's going to be 1975. So basically, right near this gap and this naked VPOC and the prior microcomposite VPOC at the 19 area. So those are basically all the key levels. There is an LVN right here at the 36.75. So we have to just extend this up as our over underline just a bit below the 36.75, 36. I'm going to wait for the break into the 36. I'd be looking for a move down into the overnight VPOC as the first target, and then the value area and the LVN from yesterday up here in the 32 and a quarter to 32 area. This is a valid value area, even though it was a neutral day. It was not neutral extreme, and we did put off a lot of volume down here in the value. So if we get back inside of value, it wouldn't be surprising to see a trip through value and a move down to test the overnight low, which sits on top of the value area low from yesterday. So in terms of hypotheses, my hypo 1 and hypo 2, because you know, we are still somewhat in balance, coming into the session, but my hypo 1 is going to be equally weighted for hypo 2. It's been a lot like that lately, but I'm looking for an open auction out of range. It wouldn't surprise me to take the overnight high out. They've been taking the overnight high or the overnight low out almost regularly now coming into into the RTH session and completing that stat almost immediately. I'm looking for an open auction out of range. I'm looking for a move down, responsive selling down to test the 36 and the over underline, and possible push through down to the 34.75 overnight VPOC, but somewhere between the 36 and the 32. In fact, you could argue that 32 is really your over underline, but I think there's enough move here to take the short into the prior day range and see if they come down to the 32. But I'm looking for responsive selling down between 36 and 32, and then I'm looking for buyers to step in and rotate us up through the overnight high and take out the key line in the sand and the weak high up, not weak as in strength wise, as in this week's high at 42, and push through into our all-time highs. And I'm looking for new all-time highs in Hypo 1. Hypo 2 is a open auction out of range, a push up into the overnight high, possibly into the 42 week high, but either a false breakout or a failed breakout, and then sellers step in, rotate us down inside, chop between the 36 and the 32, and then fail and come back down into balance and come through the value, and then start finding buyers down here and chopping and going sideways as we base here one more time. Coming into, we do have NFP on Friday, so this might just be a false breakout and a move back to balance. That is Hypo 2. Hypo 3 is going to be a gap and go, and since it's gap and go, we got to just make a quick calculation. Let's say we open up here at 39, our close is 28.50. So our half gap fill is going to be 33.75. So if in Hypo 3, if we get a gap and go and we leave this gap alone, remember that the longer it remains open, the less likely the gap is going to get closed, even though 2 days ago we did see a neutral and a move down towards that gap fill late in the day. They didn't actually fill it. They filled the range gap. They didn't fill the actual gap that's down at the 20, what was it? 20 and a quarter. So Hypo 2 is an open test drive, failure to get back inside of the prior day and then get initiative early and push up. And I'm looking for a move up into the mid 50s and basically then going sideways near new all-time highs. That is Hypo 3. Hypo 4 is a failure day, open auction out of range, take out the overnight high, fail to take out the week high at 42, and then responsive sellers take control, bring us right back inside of value, chop in here, and then fail through the value area low and push down into this 17 to 20 area and come and close down here as they try to take back and repair some of the auction down here and a possible move before the next leg up down to that 2900, maybe even 2894 to shake out the week longs. That is my my four main hypotheses for ES. Gold, well, gold, we were looking for a break yesterday. Whoops, that's not gold. Yesterday we had come up and we were trading 1202 when we did this this session, and we were looking for a break above the 1204.90 area for a push up into the value area high. We got that, and then today we've come up and we've tested again, and we've got a weak high here at the 12.30, and we're coming back again. Just can't get out of this balance area. So watch the 1202 area. If we break back through that 1202, 1203 area, we could test the 1200 again and possibly take a trip through value down into the 1196 area. If we can hold above the 1202 or 1205, we come down and hit the 1202 and get back above the 1205, or we bounce on this retest of the 1205 and hold. I'm looking for a move up to break through the 1213 level and a push up for the next leg up towards this 1220, with the eventual target being the next larger rotation up, being up into the 1233. But the initial target is going to be up here, first at the 15 to 18 level, but ultimately the target is this 2030. This is the balance that we were in before we had that big breakdown, and see if we can get back above and get this next leg up. We kind of had a little bit of a fake out down here, because initially I was saying the last couple of weeks I'm expecting the breakout to be to the upside, and they came down and broke that fractal low, and but they held this prior microcomposite VPOC, and the buyer stepped in once again, and here we are back up in the 1200s and holding steady. So that's what I'm looking at in gold. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.